Alright, so today we're taking a look at Eric's Revenge. Very generic title. Let's see if it's any good. Eric's Revenge, or Phantom of the Mall Eric's Revenge, which is what this print goes with, is a 1989 American horror slasher film directed by Richard Freeman and is based on The Phantom of the Opera. So we begin the film with a guy breaking into a mall at night. A guard spends way too long thinking this guy is a mannequin.
You ain't no mannequin.
And when he finally realises, he's knocked out and dragged away. After we're shown the different title to the DVD case, we learn that Pauly Shore is in this film. Shit. Also, this fire over the credits is reminding me of another film I talked about recently. We get a weird jumpy fade and we're in a mall where a conference is taking place. I feel like I've seen this before too. Hope that this film will feel more original as we go along. Anyway, they're announcing that the mall, which is new, is finally complete and opening. The speech is being given by Harv, the mall owner, and we also meet Mayor Karen. We run into some of our main characters, Melody and Susie. They both land jobs in the mall and a photographer checks them out. Cut over to a guy in a vent. He marks off a day on his calendar. I wonder who that could be. Melody and Susie go over to an ice cream stand where Pauly Shore playing Buzz is working. He gives them ice cream with an ear in it as a practical joke. The mayor comes along and chats with the girls. They say they managed to get jobs, so the mayor wants a picture with them for the papers. The creepy photographer is back and he takes their picture. After this, the photographer approaches Melody, saying he recognises her from a house fire that happened where the mall was built. Apparently Melody was saved, but her boyfriend Eric wasn't. By the way, this photographer is called Peter. We haven't had a Peter in a while, but it's just another one to add to the list. Melody finds flowers in a locker, which were the same type Eric used to buy her. What a mystery. After this, Buzz confronts Peter, recommending he stay away from Melody. We meet Harv's stroppy teen son, and then cut over to Eric in the vents. If you didn't twig on that it was Eric by now, you're an idiot. He kills a repairman by smashing his face into a fan. We jump over to some security guards perving on the girls in the changing rooms, and oh look, it's Ken Foree from Romero's Dawn of the Dead. They're told that there's some strange knocking in the vents, so the pervert goes to check it out. We then see Melody looking at a dress she can't afford. It's kind of mentioned later, so I thought I'd include it. The creepy guard acts like a dick, so Eric shoves him into a fuse box, electrocuting him, and then he throws his corpse on Harv's desk. Melody and Susie are finished for the day and are going home, but Melody finds that dress that she wanted in a car. The car won't start, so she goes to look under the bonnet, but a guy attacks her and Eric shoots the attacker in the arm with a crossbow, and then the guy runs off. We're then in a dream sequence where Eric and Melody are getting it on. Melody wakes up screaming. Back at the mall, and Buzz shows Peter that there's subliminal messaging under the mall's music. Okay. We then cut to Eric working out, and then to Harv's son stealing from an arcade. Then back over to Eric, and we see that he's watching some Melody tapes with soft 80s rock in the background. It's ridiculous. Back to Peter and Buzz, and Peter notices a suspicious looking guard, so he goes to spy on him and a chase ensues. Peter runs into the mayor, and the guard stops. Peter goes looking for Melody, while Melody puts on the jukebox. Some more soft rock plays, and she has another flashback to Eric. Peter appears and tells Melody that he thinks the guard he saw started the fire. Melody says how strange things have been happening, like the flowers and the dress, and apparently the song that's playing was Eric and her's song, so she starts to think that Eric might still be alive. A piano man takes a break. Now we know. Eric is snooping around in the vents, and the piano man turns out to be Melody's attacker from last night. Eric puts a snake in a pipe, and it comes up the toilet and bites the piano man in his balls. Meanwhile, Peter has a blurry picture of the guard, and apparently no one in the mall has heard of this guy. Harv's son is snooping around, and Melody and Susie are leaving work. He acts like a dick around them both, and Eric sees this and lassos him, and then uses an escalator to kill him. Peter asks Melody what happened the night of Eric's house burning down, and apparently there was a note on his front door from the council wanting the family to move out. Eric and Melody get frisky when the fire starts. Melody escapes out the window, but Eric doesn't appear to make it out. Melody also saw the arsonist, which looks a lot like the guard dude from earlier. I think his name's Christopher. Peter wants to dig up Eric's grave to see if he was actually buried. The guard appears and confirms it was him who burnt down the house. He threatens them, but Peter punches him and a car chase ensues.
Peter, look out!
That feels familiar too.
Peter, be careful!
Someone jumps on the roof of the guard's car. It's Eric. The car flips over, but Christopher seems okay. Peter digs up Eric's grave and it's empty, so they go to see the mayor to tell her everything. They say that Eric is still alive and they think Harv was behind it all so the mall could get built, but she says she needs proof and they should find Eric. After another dream sequence that turns into her sleeping with Peter and the guard as well, we see that Eric is planting some bombs. Later, Christopher attacks Melody, but she's saved by a roundhouse kick by Eric. He cuts Christopher's head off in a door and takes Melody away to his lair. She wakes up and they talk. His voice is ridiculous.
Nobody will ever hurt you, Melody. Nobody, I won't allow it.
But his burnt face looked kinda cool, I guess. Eric says he's been living down here and working out since his house burnt down. He wants to be with her, but apparently she's fallen for Peter, so he gets mad and goes to prepare his bombs. Peter is looking for Melody and falls into an Eric trap full of rats. He escapes and runs into the snake from earlier. Eric and Peter finally fight, and Peter gets in the last punch and runs with Melody, but Eric chases. Buzz and Sue run into Peter and Melody, and then they all bump into the mayor and tell her about the bombs, but apparently she was in on it all too. Eric appears and throws the mayor out the window. Buzz makes a bomb announcement, and all the people leave the mall. The guards try to shoot Eric, who's on the rafters, and he uses a banner to swing down into Harv.
Look what you did to me. Look what you did to me!
And he sets him on fire. The mall explodes and Peter and Melody kiss. We pan across Eric's corpse and the film ends. Right then, so what did I think? It was okay. It was very bottom of the barrel slasher film and a poor Phantom of the Opera, but I've seen a lot worse. The acting was acceptable and the music was fun. There was no suspense whatsoever, and this can mainly be blamed on the title. And watching the characters try to uncover the blatantly obvious mystery got a little tired, but it was paced okay, and there was enough happening to keep me interested. Now for the release. And you know what? This was really good. The print was spot on, both visuals and audio were very clear. Very surprising. The case seems okay, we have a spelling error here, and again it's formatted and worded weirdly, especially the lack of space here, but it's okay. The runtime's off by 4 minutes this time, with the film being 86 minutes long. The menu's at the end again, like some of the earlier ones we looked at, and we get no special features at all. Overall then, I think this film was lacking quite a lot. If you're looking to scrape the barrel for a subpar slasher film, you may find some enjoyment from this, and you could do a lot worse than this print. I'd slightly recommend the film, and if you are interested in watching, I definitely recommend this release.